Hello, welcome back to Seawolf's Den. I'm Crafting Ron. I am on my kitchen table rather than my crafting table because this is my boat and it is big. I am prepping for a convention in March, early March, first weekend, Mythic Con West in Asheville, North Carolina. It is the convention that took the place of my old convention, Mace West. I'm prepping for 3 different games. So I may do some videos about the other ones, but this one is for a setting that I'm actually writing for, and that's Savage Worlds Bloodshadows, or Savage Bloodshadows. And this adventure is actually a published one from the original system, Voyage of the Doomed, and it just so happened to take place on a steamer, which this is a map of a steamer that I got from RPG Now. I'll put a link in the comments. But I'm working on it right now, and I've already done some work. This piece right here is one. I've already done the front end, and it's drying right now. I've got the base primer on it. I painted it black, and then we're going to paint it like this eventually. I obviously have some repairs to do here. But I'm adding 3D elements to it. So this, like the front end, is going to be a raised, which is really what it is. This is going to be raised 1, 2, 3 levels with some foam, as you can see. And I'm going to try to do a smokestack as well. I'm not going to do the masts, this mast or this mast. That's just a little too complex for me. And right now, I want to stick with the main parts, which are the 3D elements, because there is going to be some action taking place here. And I think that the 3D elements will help in the experience. So I'll record as I go along. I already did the front end and it's now drying and I have to finish it up. I'll take pictures or video of that. Then I'm moving on to this portion, which is 1, 2, 3 levels. I bought more foam. Probably going to use this middle level. Yeah. And what I do is I reprinted this out, put it together, because these are 8.5 by 11 that I just taped together, and just cut it, that portion of it, put it on foam and cut that around it. I'm going to do the same thing. This one's going to be the biggest. It's going to go here to here and then all the way back there. So that's one level. Then the next is going to be 2, and I'm going to use other foam for that. Hopefully this will look cool at the end. I'm also going to add the lifeboats, which hung off of here, and I'm crafting those with something else. A little background on the boat. I made it in 2018 for a Flash Gordon game that I was going to run at Mace 2018. I put it together in 3 sections using 3-inch foam that I'd found on the side of the road. I just wanted to make a representation of a sunken freighter in Flash Gordon. I realized it didn't look very Flash Gordon-like, but it was a steamship, and that was good enough for me. I had the privilege of running a private game for DM Scotty and various other crafters, as well as running it at Savage Saturday Night at Mace 2018. All had a great time and loved the boat. In my design of this boat, I cut all the pieces out from foam, whether it was the 3-inch or the 1-inch foam, but in each case, I also wrapped it in foam core. I use dollar store foam core because you can easily rip the paper off and just have the foam, and it's very flexible and you can hot glue it straight to the side. This is what makes the side so smooth. I did it on the additional pieces, the 3D pieces, and that's what glued the metal texture to. In cutting the foam, I used a variety of different cutters. I have a hot wire foam factory table cutter, and I also have a Proxxon cutter, and I have several different types of wire and hot knife cutters, either from Proxxon or Hot Wire Factory, as well as this Garita, which is my new one. continue working on the big boat and the 3D elements that I want to add to it. I've added this portion, which is the largest portion. I went out and got some more foam, hardware store, and what I did was I basically took the picture, and I'll put the picture up, and I looked at it from the 3D point of view and started cutting out the different layers using Photoshop. I'm pretty handy with Photoshop. This is going to go in there, but then this will go in there. Now I realize now that this has to be cut so that that will fit over top of it, just like that. Yep, gonna have to cut a lot actually. A lot of repair is gonna have to happen when I get this done. This will be like this, and these two portions, which I did not realize were all one until later, will go here, and one more will be the wheelhouse on top, and then I will make a smokestack. Still a little bit of work to do and a lot of painting, but I think that's starting to look really good. And I'll do the lifeboats, and they hang off of here. I'll do lifeboats just on regular foam, probably this foam itself. Okay, till next time. Getting pretty close to being finished on the boat, what I'm calling the expansion of my boat into a 3D terrain piece. I had to battle quite a bit to get this right. I'm not entirely happy with it. That's because we just went through a bunch of rain and I had to do it outside. So the moisture was messing up paper, so I had to come up with ways to combat that. The maps and stuff like that. I used paper for the map for things like the sides, which I did not plan to do, but I went ahead and did. I used cardstock, which doesn't react as badly to the rain. I also used rubber cement, which in North Carolina, you have to be 21 to buy. And I did that because it glued faster than, say, Elmer's glue. And Elmer's glue is just bad for with paper and anything. It's better than it could have been. I resorted to using the printouts metal texture because places like this area where I messed up badly and I had to cover up some really bad foam core work. Added the whole hatch and doors in places, as well as oversized portholes. I am going to count this as mostly finished. I'm going to take a few more pictures, put it on some terrain and show it to you, and maybe throw some miniatures on there. But this is going to be used in a game called Bloodshadows, Savage Bloodshadows. They're going to be on a boat and things happen on the boat, and one thing leads to another, and they have to have combat on the boat. So I think this will add to it. But on top of that, the adventure doesn't call for it, but I'm going to add some weapons on these platforms. I'm going to have some machine guns, printing out some machine guns for that on my 3D printer. So that's where it stands.
So until next time, seek the wolf in thyself.